Are you rolling?
Yeah.
Been spending most their lives living in a prankster's paradise. That was it.
That was great. Yeah.
Welcome to Simple and Clean, a Kingdom Hearts podcast. I'm Mayanna, Berrin.
And I'm Mischa, Stanton.
And today we're talking about Prankster's Paradise / Monstro.
The Pinocchio world.
The Pinocchio worlds.
Oh, Pinocchio.
Oh, Pinocchio. Generally feelings about, I guess. Yeah, how do you feel about Monstro, a world? Monstro, a character in a world.
Okay.
And Prankster's Paradise, the world in which Monstro, both a world and character, inhabits. That is how it is characterized.
I have to remember all those things.
Yeah, okay, how do you feel about Monstro World in Kingdom Hearts 1?
Difficult.
Yeah, I agree.
Boy, oh boy.
I agree.
It's the one, I mean, it's the water temple of
It
the bunch.
really is.
It's the, and I've played a lot of character platformers that have that level too.
Yeah.
That level's in Psychonauts, it's in Ratchet and Clank.
Which one's your site? What's the water temple of Psychonauts?
That's actually a really good question. I have to think about that.
Thank you.
Oh, it's the underwater section before you go inside the lungfish's brain. Before you become a big kaiju in the little lungfish city.
Yeah,
it's the outside
weird
part.
air bubble part where they're chasing you.
Yeah, I had to think about it for a little bit because it's one of the parts of that game that's in real life and not inside a person's brain. So I was I was going through all the brains. And
which is disorienting. Yeah.
In that way, it's also like Monstro.
It is also like Monstro.
Because Monstro is not a world, he's just a space whale.
He's a space whale who became jettisoned out of his world.
Yeah.
And we'll go back a little bit too. How do you feel about Prankster's Paradise? It's in Dream Drop distance.
Prankster's Paradise is. You know what? I was also watching those scenes this week. For the episode that's going to follow this one.
Yes.
I found it interesting that of all the cutscenes I've watched for this show, they're always in Monstro.
Yeah.
That one felt like Pinocchio World.
So
I did like it. Yeah, I do like it because Pinocchio is so much more than the section where he's in the belly of the whale.
It's actually more. It's more not whales.
It's mostly not whale.
It's mostly not whale.
Yeah. So I liked seeing Pinocchio in his element get his own level.
Yes.
I liked seeing Jiminy as a Disney character and not as your weird little guy that lives in your hood. It was nice. It was cool.
Yes. How do you feel about Pinocchio in general?
I having once been a very small boy, related to Pinocchio at a certain point in my life.
Pinocchio has existed since 1881.
Yeah.
The story is one of the most adapted things of all time.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking Tarzan numbers, if not eclipsing Tarzan numbers.
Yeah. And it's another one of those books where it's a classic tale of a kid getting up to a variety of scenes of stuff.
Yes. Now, in general, would you say Pinocchio as a character, I guess, what does Pinocchio as a character elicit in you as a reader / what are your impressions of Pinocchio as a character?
He's very prone to things that a kid thinks they can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
Boys who are learning about the morals of the world and where they need to find their place within that.
So what would you say are the good things that Pinocchio should be doing?
That's a great question. Okay, I see what you're asking. What you're asking me is, what does the author of Pinocchio posit as the things that Pinocchio should do
Carlo Collodi
to be, quote unquote, good? What does he consider good? Great question.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to his father.
Yep.
Not lying.
Correct.
Not falling prone to laziness or hedonistic tendencies.
Correct.
What am I missing?
There's two really core ones.
Okay.
It's work ethic.
Yes.
And school / training.
Yes, training for the workforce.
Training for the workforce, yes. So the things that
is this going to be a thing about Italian industrialization?
Well, yeah, because it was about that time.
Yeah, dang.
It was about that time. So there's been a lot of different interpretations of Pinocchio throughout history, on screen, in video games, in books, Disney.
Non-Disney movies.
Non-Disney, yes. The most recent big public adaptation was Guillermo del del Toro.
Yeah,
which
I
sets
love.
which is great. And I would say that the Guillermo del Toro depiction of Pinocchio is closer to what we see in the original book, which is he's like a menace. Like he's not a little scamp. Like Geppetto at one point in the original book calls him a wretched boy.
Ooh.
And like the first thing in the book, and I believe it's the same in the Del Toro movie, is the first thing Pinocchio does when he comes to life is laugh maniacally and steal Geppetto's wig.
Yeah. Yes, that's a guy who like wakes up a boy with speech and impulses and doesn't know anything and does whatever he wants. And the rest of the story is like sort of being like, no, you have to contain yourself and you have to contribute to society and not be a little demon. Which
is interesting because like, yes, you should be a good, upstanding human being. Citizen. But especially within the context of when it was written, that includes, like, again, being deferential to your parents and falling in line.
Yeah.
And using your body for trade, you know, for labor.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting kind of parable. Because, again, I think it gets whittled down quite a bit, ironic for wood.
Because he's a woodworker. Nice.
Into, like, he's a little scamp who wants to be an actor, you know?
Sure, well, that's the Disneyfication
right,
of it all.
Absolutely.
So it is interesting to go back to the roots in that way. Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like if that kind of a story were told today, the narrative metaphor at the heart of Pinocchio would be the opposite. It would be the story of a real boy turning into a puppet.
Yeah. Oh, they ate.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Or you get what we get in the Del Toro version, which is that, like, he doesn't really become a real boy. He decides that he has a mind of his own, and he kind of travels the world with Jiminy Cricket, and I think, you know, as with all things, I think he eventually dies.
He's not. His name's not Jiminy in the
no,
Del Toro. He has a different name.
It's like Cricket or something.
Yeah,
here, I'm gonna look it up.
No, I can get into all of that next week when I'm gonna cover who is Jiminy Cricket.
Yes. So 1940, we get the Disney Pinocchio, and one of the things I think you lose in the wretched boyness of it all is Pinocchio in his original drawings is like a long, lanky, kind of unsettling character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
I think that because Pinocchio was also like Disney's second movie, right?
Yeah, it was pretty early in the life cycle.
Early.
It was super, super early. I will say, like, in terms of animation, we're seeing some flexing on them haters. We're seeing a bunch of clocks. We're seeing a fish. We're seeing a cat. We're seeing everybody be dancing and moving, and it looks amazing. And the Blue Fairy is gorgeous.
In terms of animation style, drastic evolution of the format.
Yes.
But also, when you compare it to, like, what does Pinocchio take away from Snow White, which is, like, even the scariest sections of Pinocchio are toned down from some of the evil witch stuff in Snow White.
Oh, yeah. It's like the adversaries in Pinocchio, there's like a couple different ones, including Monstro. It's more like and this is also in the structure of the story itself, it's like a rogues gallery of episodic style encounters with seedy individuals.
Another one that's of a kind with Alice in Wonderland, where it's just like a bunch of scenes.
A vibe.
One I didn't get to mention in that episode, Phantom Tollbooth. I don't think it's the same era, but it's the same kind of book.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a road movie.
Yeah, it's a road movie. It's a kid's surrealist road movie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that should be its own genre.
Absolutely. Just kid in crazy situations. And, one of the big set pieces in that movie is the Prankster's Paradise, is this, like, island for scamp little boys.
Yep.
I believe in the movie, and there's a land in downtown Disney named after Pleasure Island, which is a choice for the little boy island. But I'm glad we changed it. Yeah.
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 See, and then they changed it to Prankster's Paradise, which definitely is more scampish.
It's more scamp.
Yeah.
Everybody's a little imp. But the thing about this place is the more time you spend there, the more you get turned into a donkey that then gets taken to the workforce.
Yep.
Either way, it ends in the workforce.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about the prison industrial complex.
That does really make me think about that, actually.
It's like, the industrialization theming is prevalent even...
I always thought it was, like, pretty straightforward of, like, don't make a jackass of yourself.
Don't make a jackass of yourself.
And that's the telling little boys how to be of it. But I never really took it one forward and then what do we put jackasses to work as in our society?
A workhorse.
Yeah.
Like, those boys are getting boxed up and sold to farms, presumably.
It's a tiny little scheme.
It's a little scheme, and it's, yeah.
Maybe Honest John should buy himself some new gloves.
So, where does Sora fit into all of this, right?
Yeah, I mean, Sora is a kid setting out on his own for the first time, confronted by forces of light and forces of darkness and having to make a choice between them.
And also, Jiminy's with Sora, right?
Yeah.
Like, Sora is a young boy who, again, it's more about a journey of, like, what it means to become, like, a man, but he is a boy who needs to decide what are the things that he values. What are the things that are important to him? What are the things that make him a real boy?
Yes.
And so what's frustrating in, some ways is Prankster's Paradise does it more. Monstro as a world is interesting. There's a lot of weird little things about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like in Kingdom Hearts 1, where Monstro is, and all the other times where it's copied from Kingdom Hearts 1, where it is, the thing we're examining more of a Kingdom Hearts thing than the Disney.
We are examining more a Kingdom Hearts thing in Monstro.
It's more about how is a puppet alive. It's like breaking the fourth wall of it. It's like, hey, does anyone else see this puppet speaking?
Walking around,
talking?
doing stuff. And it's like, bro, we got dogs that can hold shields. Like,
but puppets made of wood and he alive.
Well, that and then one further, which is it's me or the PS5. Riku's like, it's me or it's Pinocchio. So some fun, weird facts about the Monstro world.
Okay.
No keyhole.
Right, because it's not a whole world. It's just a space whale.
It's just a guy. You're inside a guy.
Yes, I like a space whale. How do you feel about a space whale?
I think space whale's sick as fuck. I think big magic whale in general, big fan.
Yeah.
I don't have any space whales off the top of my head that are gotta be one of my favorite space whales, but I like the aesthetics of it. I remember there's a part in Treasure Planet where they're sailing and then there's like a big space whale and then it like does blowhole things.
That's my favorite one. That's the one I was gonna say. Especially because the song from the guy from the Goo Goo Dolls is playing, and it's like just like beautiful sequence, and everything's in those pinks and purples. Man, we need a Treasure Planet world in Kingdom Hearts.
I need more Treasure Planet everything.
Yes.
But yes, I think like Space Whale's super cool, and the thing that's frustrating about the Monstro world is more often than not, when you're in the Monstro world, you're not really engaging with the aesthetic conventions of Pinocchio.
No.
You're engaging with the aesthetic conventions of multicolored alien stomach.
You're engaging with the Kingdom Hearts level that's like a Gucci.
It's wobbly squiggly. It's light blue and purple with these like amoeba-esque color shapes.
Yeah, they look like organelles inside of a cell. Have you ever seen like a textbook illustration?
You mean the
mitochondria
mitochondria of the powerhouse of the cell? Yeah, I'm familiar with their work. And you know what? She walked so memes could run.
Do you know what she is?
The powerhouse of the cell.
Where the energy gets produced by the labor of the cell.
Oh, fuck. It's all connected to industrialization. Fuck. But what's disorienting about the level is there are landmarks. Every room is different.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to parse them out. The Heartless in this world are, again, more on the side of things in stomach than they are Pinocchio stuff.
Yeah.
The boss is a cage acid reflux monster that has Pinocchio inside of it.
If you're going to be in the space whale's belly, if that's where the level is, I guess, then there should be the acid part. That does make sense.
That do be stomach things.
Right.
Yeah.
This is one of the worlds and levels and stories where I wonder why they picked that part of it to adapt for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I do too.
Especially because, and we're going to talk about it in a second, I imagine, but like they did the rest of it later.
Yes, but in a weird way.
Yeah.
So yeah, like in general, there's very little development notes that I could find about the Monstro level.
Okay.
It's like, I think that it was one of those things of like, it started from a logical thing of, well, if Jiminy's here, then Pinocchio's here.
Right.
Then Geppetto's here, then Monstro's here. Fun fact again about the Monstro world is it's one of the worlds you don't even have to complete to beat the game.
Because it doesn't have a keyhole.
Because it doesn't have a
and
keyhole.
The article of completion is do all the keyholes.
Do all the keyholes. And, in fact, you can get all the way to Hollow Bastion without beating Monstro and go back to Monstro, and the cutscenes are different.
Whoa, what?
Because Riku being there is a key part of the Monstro stuff. So instead, they cut the scene slightly differently, and Sora will make some insinuations of like, you're not Riku, where's Riku? Instead of the other scenes that you get. Isn't that weird?
Wait, so is it Riku?
This is the question. It's kind of like a Force ghost.
Okay.
It's explicitly not Riku because it can't be Riku.
Right, of course.
But they can't fully take Riku out of the level because he needs to take Pinocchio and stuff.
So I guess my question was, is it the Riku replica? But I guess he wasn't active
He doesn't
until
exist
the castle.
yet.
They were still working on him.
Yeah, he would. The Riku replica wouldn't exist yet. I think it's more so that it's maybe like an aspect of Ansem, but it's one of those.
Gotcha.
It's one of those things where, for whatever reason, if you're not playing the game in linear order, like
they got to do something.
They got to do something. It's a really weird thing.
Fascinating. I
really
did not
weird.
know that.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
If you ever go back and play Kingdom Hearts 1 again, I don't know why you ever would do this, but yeah, start it. Leave, do everything else, finish the Hollow Bastion section, go back, and the cutscenes are slightly different.
Wow. That's so
I've
cool.
seen it. It's weird. But they had to do something.
Right.
They had to do something.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, like, the Monstro world comes out of the narrative necessity of Jiminy being there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cover a bunch of this next week, so I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself here. But, like, one thing I do find interesting is that, like, they do put Jiminy in Disney World and Pinocchio's in Traverse Town.
So there is a thing about this.
Okay.
This has to do with Prankster's Paradise.
Okay.
So, like, Monstro is in space because Prankster's Paradise fell to darkness.
Right.
When Prankster's Paradise fell to darkness, everyone was separated.
Right.
Canonically. So Jiminy ended up in Disney Castle for reasons beyond our understanding.
Who knows why?
Literally, that's I mean, in the same way that, like, Sora ended up in Traverse Town and Riku ended up in da-da-da, like, they just became scattered to the four winds when the world fell to darkness.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny that Jiminy ends up in Disney town, Disney Castle.
Yeah, and just stays there because he doesn't know how to go home.
Yeah, well, but also because that's kind of what happened to him in real life, right?
Yes, that's exactly right.
That he went from being a guy in the movie Pinocchio to just being among the semi-fourth wall breaking Disney cast of
creatures,
stars.
yes.
He, like, started hosting things and appearing out and, like, in the parks. And
famously, the introductory monologue for one of the Wishes fireworks show in Disney World is Jiminy.
Yeah. So he ended up outside of his media.
Yes. He became he ascended. He got a promotion.
Right. So, but the other people who do that is Mickey and crew.
Exactly.
So they get to hang out together.
Exactly.
That's funny.
And I'm sure we'll talk about it on your episode, but I'm Jiminy's rise, his career rise, his meteoric career rise.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me until it did, but I was like, man, that really is the rags to riches story.
Yes.
It really is the open shoes to closed shoes story.
Half can opener top hat.
Sleeping in a matchbox story. So, I mean, that's it about Monstro. Monstro also appears in Chain of Memories, as do most of the worlds from Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yep.
Then we get into Prankster's Paradise. Now, Prankster's Paradise had a very interesting... Similarly to the world falling to darkness, it was going to be on one game and then fell to spatial memory issues and then got jettisoned into a different game.
Oh.
It was supposed to be in 358/2 days.
Oh.
Which would make sense.
That would have been a good place
because of
for
the
it.
puppets stuff. Like,
right.
Shion and
oh
Roxas.
my God, yeah.
Shion and Roxas were going to go to Prankster's Paradise and be like, a puppet can have a heart, but we can't.
Damn.
And it was going to be like, #crying at the carnival.
Yeah.
But due to memory issues and, like, the amount of space on the physical cartridge, that world was cut. It does appear in kind of a weird way in Birth by Sleep Remix.
Okay.
Because there's this Mirage Arena.
Yes.
Which is, and so in the remix, you can fight a boss fight Monstro thing in the Mirage Arena.
Okay, sure.
And then it ended up in full proper in Dream Drop Distance. a really late stage place to be.
Distance is such a weird beast. We're not up to it yet, of course, obviously, but just here out of sequence, just for fun. Dream Drop Distance is such a weird one, right?
It's crazy. Like, as I was diving back into this, I was like, oh my God.
The plot and story and the expansive mechanics, like, it should have been a mainline game. It should have been a mainline game. And then 3 should have been 4.
I do agree with that because, I mean, the amount of things they put in that game.
Yeah.
And, it's called Dream Drop Distance because it's 3Ds. It was the Kingdom Hearts game that came out on the 3DS. It got an HD remix on the Switch and the PlayStation 4, and I believe it is also featured.
It's in
the fragmentary one.
It's in 2.8, which is Dream Drop Distance, Fragmentary Passage, and Kingdom Hearts Key back cover,
the movie,
which is a movie that tells most of, but not all of, and from a weird perspective, Kingdom Hearts Key.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hoo boy.
But yeah, so Dream Drop Distance, one of the mechanics is instead of the gummy ship, you skydive into the world.
Yeah, you dive to the sleep.
You dive to the sleep. Yeah, so you go to slumbering worlds, which are worlds that are in a state of like Sleeping Beauty, Snow White-esque sleep, where they can't succumb to darkness, but they themselves are like memories. They're echoes of themselves.
Yeah, I think it's mostly worlds that like fell before the start of Kingdom Hearts 1, right? So it's like bringing, before you got here, a bunch fell and you got to bring them back.
Yes, exactly. And they are like in a state of stasis until they are awoken by Riku and Sora respectively in their own snippets of each world, like doing keyhole stuff. Mm-hmm. So in Prankster's Paradise, Sora actually gets to go to the carnival. It's actually kind of hateful. Riku doesn't get to go to the carnival. Sora encounters Jiminy. Jiminy does not know Sora is because this is before they met.
Yeah, it's like they're like dreams of the real characters.
They're dreams of the real characters, and they don't recall things that happened in linear time, and they don't really have a concept of time beyond like this sort of bubble that they're in.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's very dreamy.
It's dreamy, exactly. It's dream rules. So Sora finds Pinocchio. Pinocchio has been talking to a guy in a black cloak.
Oh, man, where are they getting those? I want one so bad.
You can get a cup. The Sugoi Collective, I think, has one. Hot Topic had one for a bit.
They're so expensive.
I know, they really are.
Donate to the Patreon.
It's floor length. I know, please. Or, hey, you know what? If we get a P.O. box, send us one.
Ooh, could be
Send us one, yeah. Sora investigates the carnival. And it's funny because it's just like, it is Pinocchio, but it's mostly quirky carnival, you know?
It's just the carnival level.
Yeah, it's the carnival level.
Carnival level's so fun. It lets the set designers really show off and put exciting things in the...
There's some fun trampoline, bouncy level kind of. We're doing the cartoon town bouncing up and down stuff. Really fun stuff.
So in that sense, it kind of is like an emotional stand-in for Timeless River.
Very much.
That it's like...
It's that cartoony
bouncy
place.
And zany and a bunch of little things to look at.
Yes. Pinocchio starts to transform into a donkey. He gets the ears. They get whisked off into the ocean, and Monstro eats them in front of Sora's very eyes. What? And Sora's like, I'm gonna get you, and he's swimming through the ocean to get to him. And then this dream. So instead of Heartless or Nobodies or the Unversed, we have the Dream Eaters.
Yeah.
Which, hey, if you thought you'd seen colors, wait until you get a load of these colors, baby.
The 3DS had such a vibrancy upgrade, apparently.
Well, that is just the Dream Eaters. So what's funny about Dream Drop Distance, and again, we'll get there too, is instead of Goofy and Donald, not exclusively in that order, you get these little fucking guys.
Yeah.
These monster little guys.
These Kingdom Hearts Pokemon.
The Kingdom Hearts Pokemon. You even get to do the thing that the 3DS Pokemon games did, which is you get to pet them with the stylus. They are cute in their way.
They're very...
colorful.
They're very like Squishmallow coated.
They
They all look like they were destined to be stuffed animals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they did sell some of them, I believe.
Sure.
So this weird crab dream eater creature shoots a freeze ray at Monstro.
Fuck yeah.
And Sora has to fight him, and then he gets whisked off to the beach.
Okay.
But Pinocchio is inside Monstro, and it's like, well, this is my piece done, basically.
Oh.
And then Riku...
he gets swallowed. He sees Pinocchio get swallowed by the whale. Is like, all right, Cool, I'm out.
He gets like shoved away and is like, oh my God, like, okay, you know, and then the keyhole's there, and then Riku picks up inside Monstro.
Does he know Riku's gonna go?
They both know they're doing the thing.
Okay.
Because it's this thing where, so the convention, have you played it? You haven't played it?
I mean, I've been seeing bits of it.
The convention in the game is that you are on a timer.
Yeah.
So as you're walking around the world, you have about like 2 minutes between Riku and Sora.
Wow.
So you're like waking up, falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep. So
Whoa.
So you're kind of like witnessing both things in a concurrent sort of time frame. So Riku comes to in Monstro.
Sure.
Geppetto, Pinocchio, and Jiminy are there in the Monstro belly. And what's kind of fun is it is a fun full circle moment for Riku, because Riku, a lot of the significant conflict beats for Sora and Riku happen in Monstro and Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
And so Riku's there. He goes and investigates the inside of Monstro. I believe it's the same Dream Eater boss is in there. You fight it. There's uvulas. It's disgusting.
Sure. Jabu Jabu's belly.
Jabu Jabu's belly all over again. And he gets them out. And then he finishes his keyhole part. Mm-hmm. And there's a fun beat in it with Pinocchio where Pinocchio tells Riku basically like, do you have a Jiminy? Like, do you have a conscience?
Ooh.
Or Riku says something to Pinocchio like, how do you know what's right and wrong? Like, da-da-da. And then Pinocchio's like, I think you just have to find someone in your life who can tell you or who can show you what's right and wrong. And then Riku thinks of Sora.
Oh, of course he does.
And that's sweet.
They're so gay for each other.
I know, they really, it's Riku especially.
God, yeah.
Riku especially. And what's also kind of spooky interesting is timeline-wise, Dream Drop Distance is happening when Riku and Sora are in their KH2 fits. They're like 15 and 16 respectively.
Sure.
But inside the dream worlds, they look like the ages they were in Kingdom Hearts 1. I can't remember the exact justification for that choice, but I think it's like your inner child dreamscape is different from your alternative teen human form. Yeah.
But actually, I kind of wonder why do that from a production perspective. We'll have to get into it.
I mean, they have the models already, but what was interesting was Sora and Riku both got different costumes from even their KH2 counterparts. It's young Sora and young Riku with Riku's hair length from Kingdom Hearts 3 and a variant version of his outfit that's still inspired by his KH2 fit, but not quite his KH3 fit. And Sora's in a different red and black fit, which is still more red than it is in his Kingdom Hearts 3 fit, but he's still 14. It's really interesting.
I actually think Riku's fit in Dream Drop Distance is really good.
It's really good. It's actually, I think, a slightly more streamlined version, but with the things I still like about his KH2 fit.
Yeah.
And it's not as dark and gray as his KH3 fit.
Which kind of makes you wonder why they changed it so drastically for Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, they could have just done what they did in Dream Drop Distance. It would have looked great.
I agree. I think it's one of those things where it's like, we can't deny the slay.
Sure.
We have to pray.
Just one more outfit.
One more fit.
And you know what else? In Kingdom Hearts 3, they had all those Virum Rex guys, so he got to do 4 extra bonus ones, too.
You know, there's another justification for this, and it's the same one for Marvel movies, action figures, baby.
Yeah.
Every new movie, even if Black Widow's in the same outfit, this one has different lines. This time her hair is dip-dyed blonde.
Got to. They had to really diversify the merch they weren't selling us. What?
Correct, exactly. It's the merch they're not playing.
Hi, it's once again Mischa. Thanks as always for listening to Simple and Clean, a Kingdom Hearts podcast. We have such a wonderful time making this show for you, and we hope you have an equally wonderful time listening to it. If this show brings a light to your life and a joy to your heart, if we've linked our memories of playing Kingdom Hearts together, perhaps in some sort of chain, please consider supporting us on Patreon. You can support us starting at just $5 a month, and in exchange you can get ad-free versions of every episode, as well as the secret reports, where our passion boils over and we talk about other stuff that isn't Kingdom Hearts. Stuff like Final Fantasy and Fullmetal Alchemist and Dispatch and more. But most of all, you'll let us know that you want us to keep yapping until we run out of breath, which for Mayanna and me will be quite a while. And that's pretty cool. So, one more time, that's patreon.com/simpleandcleanpod. We are a proud part of the Multitude Podcast Collective, a place where smart people passionate about topics find the support they need to get their message to you, the people. And if you like swords and stuff, might I recommend you give American Medieval a listen. American Medieval is a podcast about the Middle Ages, but with an American twist. Every week, Professor Matthew Gabriel is joined by an expert scholar to talk about either some bit of the medieval world itself, or how Americans have throughout our history used the Middle Ages to say something about ourselves. For the video game lovers among us, we recommend the Medieval Video Games episode to learn all about how modern games adapt medieval history. If America has never been fully modern, it might be because we've always been a little bit medieval. Check out americanmedieval.com for more. New episodes are available every Wednesday. Look for them wherever fine podcasts can be found. Next to those podcasts, like on a lower shelf, is American Medieval.
So that is kind of it for Monstro and Prankster's Paradise. The thing that I keep feeling is they did do, again, they show Pinocchio doing the lying thing. They show the Blue Fairy in Prankster's Paradise. They do more of the beats of Pinocchio. But I don't know. I think partially because it's inside a dreamscape world, it doesn't hit the same for me. Like, Sora and Riku are growing and changing from their experiences, but these things are happening in like a weird timescape situation.
It's all in the past. That's kind of the thing about Dream Drop Distance is all of the stuff where real characters are having growth are fascinating. The Sora and Riku, the organization who comes to the Sleeping Worlds to find them and do stuff to... All of that is legitimately fascinating, but anything going on around them is the equivalent of a training montage.
It is.
And it's all ephemeral, illusory. It's all taking place in the past. Like, there's a past... We've mentioned before that there's a past Mickey, Donald and Goofy
exclusively in that order,
in the
Three Musketeers
world, which is like in their past. It's before Mickey fully took his throne as the king, I think.
But it canonically or stylistically has to take place after Toontown because Three Musketeers came out later than Toontown did, than Steamboat Willie did.
Right.
Yeah, and also the Three Musketeers movie, the Disney Three Musketeers movie, has a plot. Like, it has plot progression for and development for those versions of Mickey, Donald, and Goofy as well.
Right. So it's weird, like they go to, the Tron of Dream Drop Distance makes me laugh a lot because I'm a big Tron head. I'll get to it.
Yes.
But so it does give the yada, yada, yada of Dream Drop Distance a particular flavor of this doesn't matter.
And also they'll have these moments where Sora and Riku will both have flashbacks / monologues to themselves like, well, Yensid did say that things that happen here might be from the past, even if we've experienced them before. Yeah. And I guess this is what he was talking about. And it's just like... Like, literally at one point, Sora's like, Jiminy, why don't you remember me? And then it literally flashes to Yensid, like, remember, people in the worlds may not remember you because they're from the past and also they are sleeping. Thanks, Yensid.
Remember, Sora, don't be a dumbass. Yeah. Remember what I told you before.
And then Sora, like, goes along with it and goes, yeah, Jiminy, we've never met before. And it's fine, you know? Yeah.
I think that's the coolest part of the story in Dream Drop Distance for me. It's the part where Sora gets to see, like, Jiminy Cricket : Origins.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny, too, because Sora sits there, he, like, walks up to the world, and Jiminy's like, oh, man, so I'm his conscience, and I don't know if I know what I'm doing, and the Blue Fairy says that I have to be his conscience, and I already let him run off to this Prankster's Paradise, and now I don't know where he is, and I gotta go find him, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Really bringing us up to speed as fast as possible.
I love when I sit on the stoop of a stair and go through all the, okay, so my taxes are due because it's April 15th and I've got that trip I gotta plan, just so that people walking by know exactly how they can help me.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
Yeah, so I think that's the bit that really makes me smile out of the whole Pinocchio of it all.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you care so much about Jiminy because he's present he part of the main party, sort of.
Yeah.
And
he is.
Sort of.
The shade.
When is Jiminy cast in a blizzard or something? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that's... He's writing things down. Every time you're casting... we'll talk about it on the other episode.
But so it's kind of like when you see your parents' yearbook photo.
Oh, yeah.
You just get that shot of like, man, you used to be like that. This is where you came from, huh? And now you're here, and I knew a different side of you. Wow.
Yeah.
It just deepens their relationship in a way that like the Sora Jiminy relationship kind of really needed.
I agree with that completely. And I do want to hear your thoughts on if you ran the zoo. What can we do with this? What can be done with this?
I actually have some thoughts about this. I think it needs to be, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for asking.
Oh, I love this part of it. It's so fun.
I think the level should have been the guy's circus. The guy who makes
the
Pinocchio
weird,
a puppet.
The weird theater, got no strings.
Yeah, and
yes.
it could have been, other characters you interact with backstage at the circus trying to break him out of a thing. It could have been a stealth mission. Honest John and his, the Fox and the Cat guys.
Yeah, hi diddly dee.
Right.
Yeah.
Could have been in and around there bringing in new acts or, like...
More like theater-esque puppet Heartless could have been really fun.
I am honestly... imagining the stage level of Psychonauts.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. And what is it? Stromboli, I think is the guy?
His name is Stromboli in Pinocchio. Yeah, it's his theater, his wagon, his circus.
Have you ever been on the Pinocchio ride at Disneyland?
Yes.
Yeah, it's another one where, I mean, all of the old school dark rides, specifically at Disneyland, are like, what if we just told you the scary parts of the story?
Yeah, and then got a bunch of graphics and uplit them.
Yeah, uplit them, and then we have a Pepper's Ghost of the Blue Fairy, and you're like, that's nice, actually.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see her. Okay, yeah, so Stromboli's theater thing.
Yeah, and then there could have been like a couple of different set pieces because he's in a wagon, right?
Yes.
He could travel from like just place to place in the Italian countryside, and it would have given a little bit more of a variety.
Yeah, give it a little bit of the rolling hills. The other thing I would have loved to see is more of the small town. Drop us in when Pinocchio's like on his first day of school, like on the way with his little book belt.
Okay, so growing up, in my parents' house, they had like a little bowl on their break front right near the front door, and it had like some wood chips for scent, and like a little wooden apple that would sit into it. And when I was a child, I would constantly grab that apple, walk up to my parents, and go, "I'm going to school now, Father," and then skip through the house towards the front door.
That's real. That's so good. That's so good. My brother would toss his Woody doll in the air and go, "Score!" Because that's what he does at the beginning of the movie. I had a Pinocchio toy. Like I had a little one of those like kind of, you can't do a lot of articulation. Ironic.
Yes.
But just like move the arms, legs up and down vibes. I like Pinocchio a lot. I would have loved to see, again, I keep singing this song, give me a little bit of rhythm game in every world.
Got no strings.
Got no strings. When You Wish Upon a Star.
Yes.
Oh my God. Like,
I wonder if that one, I mean, all of them, and they didn't want to put rhythm games until only Atlantica and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But, like, Wish Upon a Star, much like Jiminy, it far exceeds its source material.
It's the anthem of Disney.
Yeah,
honestly,
to the point where, like, if to be quite honest, if I'm Square Enix, I'm afraid to touch it.
Fair. Well, it's funny because, I mean, you look at even, and we'll talk about it when we get to Frozen, but like they pretty much recreate shot for shot, let it go. And it looks great. Like, it looks great. The original still looks better, obviously. But like, give me buttons. Give me just buttons to press.
Yeah.
If we're gonna watch the pretty cutscene, at least give me buttons.
Yeah, that's true. Kingdom Hearts, emblematic of the PS2 era. But during my PS2 era, some of my favorite games were the precursors to Guitar Hero, which were called Frequency and Amplitude.
Oh, wow, never heard of them.
They were like Rock Band in that there were different tracks for each instrument, but like the note crystals were like way more abstract, and it was like a weird cyberpunk future theme.
I love that.
Like Guitar Hero, when they evolved it to Guitar Hero, obviously made way more sense, like narratively to a player, which is why it hit much bigger. But I loved Amplitude. It had some really good songs in it, and like I have a real fondness for those kinds of games going further back than like what some consider the birth of a genre. I would have, you tell me you want that in Kingdom Hearts, I go, hell yeah, dog.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
That's a little bit of what Melody of Memory is, except that the characters are physically there.
Yes.
Which is a little weird to me, but I'm going to do it.
They chose to also include things like the Dive to the Heart song.
Does that have a rhythm?
It has beats. You know, all music has a count, has a rhythm count.
I suppose so.
Oh, click. Oh, click.
Okay, I'll soldier through. I am Melody of Memory. I do want to
try it.
I'm excited for that one.
I'm excited too. I'm excited. One of the things I'm the most excited about for this series is to give me the encouragement that I didn't have before to try all of the games that I either didn't have time for, didn't have the systems for, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think like Monstro for me was one of those worlds I always dreaded. On this most recent Are You Winning Son playthrough, it was way less painful than I remember it being.
Okay, what do you attribute that to?
David is much better at physical direction than I am. He literally never gets lost. He always knows where he is.
That sounds so nice.
It's so nice. It's and I was just like, damn, I got lost so bad when we played this. Yeah.
Navigation via maps and like in a spatial format, like I'm so good at so many things, and that is just not one of them.
Yeah. And I remember when I played Prankster's Paradise, because I played Dream Drop Distance when it came out on the 3DS. It's one of those worlds that I just didn't really have a strong impression of. Yeah. It was nice to see it. It was very nice to see the Blue Fairy in 3D. But yeah, it's not one of those ones. Again, it was nice to see it, but it wasn't one of those ones I was excited about.
Yeah.
Like when there's certain worlds that get announced in, Famitsu or like screenshots released, you're like, oh my God, it's Corona. But
yeah. Even in that game, there were ones to look forward to more, right? Like people were clamoring for a Hunchback of Notre Dame level for a long time.
And that was my shit.
Right? And so like there were some really marquee worlds that appeared in Dream Drop Distance. Yes. And I feel like Prankster's Paradise was like, oh yeah, and we're going back to check this box.
Yeah, we're going back to check this box. And it's like, hey, it's nice to get a carnival world in there. But yeah, it was funny I will say this, the animation teams, they do be doing work, right? They had Pinocchio swimming in his like full like run, like the full pinwheel arms with the Monstro. Like they do some fun stuff with scale. I saw someone on Twitter/X or whatever they're calling it now.
The Everything app.
The Everything, talking about how the composition of cutscenes, specifically in Dream Drop Distance, is really good. That whatever was going on direction-wise at the studio at that point, there was a lot more, I think, attention to detail paid to how the movies framed certain shots and how certain things were executed, and they brought that into the cutscenes, which was really notable and cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a hi diddly dee, an actor's life for me.
What about you? Like, do you have any other, if you ran into like it, do you think it swings with the rest of them? Like, even if you were gonna do a water temple, a stomach level, like, would you fix anything there?
Yeah,
like,
honestly, and I'm sure there were discussions about this, it's so jarring to go from the mouth part, which feels very within the style of Pinocchio. It's, it's pink, there's water in there, they've got their little wooden boat house thing.
The lighting and the color palette are much more realistic than the other parts of it.
And I'm sure there was, credence given to like, we don't want to go through a big dark gross mouth the whole time.
Yeah, well, other games have.
And also it's like, what you could do if you didn't want to do that is you could maybe have a weird like ship graveyard wooden scape of all the other boats or all the other things that Monstro has eaten. And also you could have gummy ships in there. You could have space debris in there.
Other space whale stomach stuff.
You could have weird Heartless from the other worlds in there.
We recently talked about Full Metal Alchemist for the Secret Reports.
Full Metal Alchemist.
And there's a character in Full Metal Alchemist, Gluttony, you could imagine.
Yes.
That has like a dark portal, and everything he eats just like exists in there in the void forever until they,
Yeah.
So like, yeah, with the amount of like dimensional stuff we're already doing in Kingdom Hearts, being able to do some of that and make Monstro a real space whale could be cool.
Make Monstro a real space whale, and also the platforming in the first segment, because that's where you first get high jump. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, I have high jump, I'm so happy. And there are these wooden platforms that are kind of like strewn about in the mouth part that you can hop on and jump and find treasure and stuff. I think you could have just taken that convention and put it in the rest of the belly part.
Yeah.
Instead of hopping around on what instead you have, which is like solid body, flesh stuff in the shape of platforms.
Yeah, which makes you wonder why his stomach parts are very polygonal.
Yeah, why are his stomach parts platform shaped?
Yeah.
I also think there could have been some really fun stuff with like the way that they get out of Monstro is they make a big fire. And they
Right.
sneeze, and Sora has fire magic.
Right, that would have been a really great place to learn a fire element.
Yeah, and like gather, or, reminiscent of Destiny Islands, gather materials to burn.
Putting the part in Destiny Islands where you go around a bunch of wooden places and find stuff among ship parts seems like it's leading up to that in Pinocchio.
It would be fun to get to also have like some of those flashback moments with Kairi triggered by something like that. The moments with Riku, because again, you're kind of like, oh my God, I'm like so different now. I just got high jump and I'm doing the same kind of like gathering of materials to try and journey forward that I did when I, like, there could have been some fun full circle moment stuff with that. Now, the boss. One, because it's not a landmark level. It doesn't have a keyhole. It's neat. It's a cool boss. It's neat.
It's fine. It's aesthetically similar and vibes with the place around it.
It vibes with the place around it, but like, could we have had a spooky puppet heartless boss?
Oh, man.
That would have been cool. Like, because there's this moment where Pinocchio is sort of unconscious and Riku's yanking him around and Jiminy thinks like Pinocchio might be dead or like that Riku's taking his heart away and like all this kind of stuff. It could have been cool to have like a dark version of Pinocchio, like a dark tree puppet monster thing.
Yeah.
Because there's all this shipwrecked wood in there.
Right. I think
and then you set that on fire.
Yes. Oh, and then it's weak to fire magic.
It's weak to fire magic, and then you burn it at the end after you defeat it, and then that's
how you get out of Monstro.
And then he sneezes.
That's
you up.
really cool.
And then you
actually.
sneeze yourself all the way back to Traverse Town because that's where Pinocchio and Geppetto end up after you beat Monstro World.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I think that would have been a great boss if it had come out of the puppet theater of it, like the final big puppet that you have to fight. You know what I mean? Like, and it comes after you into Monstro. Yeah.
Yes. So
pretty cool.
That's what I would do if I ran the zoo.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have the gift of hindsight.
Yes.
I had no deadlines.
It's so easy to throw peanuts from the cheap seeds.
Yeah. Also, Pinocchio.
I wouldn't want to have to program any of the things I just said. Absolutely
Come
not.
on, just,
no, that sounds so hard.
Just make it. Just make the game. But Pinocchio's name means pine nut, so we're throwing throwing the pine nuts.
Oh,
from the cheap seeds.
yeah. Thank you. You're right. You're absolutely correct.
But yeah, that's Monstro and Prankster's Paradise.
Thanks for taking a look at that.
Oh, you're welcome.
But it's an interesting one in that both times it appears, it's kind of off to the side and smaller than Marquee Worlds.
Yeah, well,
for one that's so iconic in Disney's,
iconography,
like, constellation of movies.
I do think that Namura has a couple quotes about like how they wanted to have Prankster's Paradise specifically in 358. And I think
that would have been really great.
I think it would have been the place for it. And I think especially for Xion and Roxas to get to encounter a character. And like Sora even brings it up in Dream Drop Distance, the idea of like, well, if Pinocchio can make a heart,
right,
can't the nobodies too?
Right.
And Dream Xehanort kind of like, or Xemnas laughs in his face a little bit at that. You're like, you're fucking crazy.
Except that is true in the case.
That is true. Well, he also says he's like, you're more of a nobody than you think you are.
Yeah.
And Sora's like, I don't know what the fuck that means because Sora doesn't understand anything, and that's fine. But yeah, I think like it would have made more sense thematically had they put it in 358.
I'm almost wishing that they had cut something else.
I mean, what would you have cut instead?
I mean, like, don't go to
maybe Wonderland.
Don't go to Coliseum for the fourth time.
But they love James Woods.
I know, but
I'm kidding.
But like that, one of the main characters of that is trying to figure out if she's a person because she's in a puppet body.
I know.
Like, goddamn.
I know. It was, and like the beat that would have happened there between Xion and Roxas, juxtaposed to this joyous place.
Yeah.
And this bigger question of like, are we no different? And yet this puppet actually has more than we have.
And Sad at the Carnival is like so JRPG.
It's so JRPG.
It's like, that's like a classic Persona beat,
Yeah, it's really good. And like, so again, knowing that, I understand. But I'll also say this too. Graphically, they would have had a lot more stylistic limitations. Getting to do it for 3DS, you get to look at it and it looks much more glorious than it would have looked.
I didn't have a 3DS, and
it's great.
My brother only had a DS, and like I wasn't really that interested in trying to get him to let me play it because he's actually my younger brother, and that would have been a whole hassle. So I didn't really I wasn't very aware of what the leap between the two was like.
It was a huge leap.
Okay.
3DS is 3DS was a PS2. Like 3DS was a PS2 in a handheld. It was nice.
Cool.
It was nice. And 3DS HD is only just graphically somewhat nicer looking than it was originally. It looked good.
All right.
Yeah.
So then I guess it did need to wait for that time to get us Pinocchio in graphical fidelity, which again is so weird because it's the second Disney movie.
I know. But I mean, it's a special movie, and I think it's interesting that Disney's interpretation of Pinocchio has gone on to become probably one of the most recognizable besides Del Toro.
Well, I agree with you because most people think that every incarnation of that character is named Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
Which is not.
It's not.
He has a whole other name. He has several other names in other adaptations.
Yeah.
But people think of the cricket from Pinocchio and they're like, yeah, Jiminy.
Yeah. And I think that Disney's interpretation of Pinocchio is a little scamp, but he's more innocent. He's more malleable.
Yeah.
He gets pulled into shenanigans. He wants to go have fun, but it feels less impish than it does in other interpretations, which is what the initial authorial intent seemed to be. But I think, given what we know now about the origins of Pinocchio as a story, I would much rather, and Guillermo del Toro's version is about discovering autonomy and appreciating the brevity of human life.
Yes.
But I think if we're going to have those two versions as the sort of final versions of the character, I actually think maybe that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an okay place to land. And then there's Lies of P, which we can't get into here.
I can't get into because I'm not that good at video games. I'm not good at those kind of games.
I've heard it's great. Yeah. Jacob Geller, also, if you want a big Pinocchio deep dive, Jacob Geller has a great video about why Pinocchio is one of the stories that we keep coming back to. And it's ultimately because it's about the idea of art coming to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, a big one for Kingdom Hearts and an even bigger one going forward for Kingdom Hearts, I think, if this whole fiction versus real thing is
100%.
what I think it is.
100%. I think that there's more that could have been made out of Sora and what it means to be a real boy and all this kind of stuff. But they were,
Yeah, that's the place where I think, I've been coming back to this idea of I would have really liked to see the Pinocchio episode of the Disney TV show.
Yes, I know. We lament all of the theoretical episodes of the Kingdom Hearts animated TV show.
Because obviously, Sora would have had to confront within himself if he's a good boy.
Yes, and if he's a real boy.
And if he's a real boy, and, boys. You get to put two boys next to each other.
Yeah, and Sora could even have to be the wet blanket to Pinocchio, where it's I thought you were the fun one.
Wow, making Sora look like the responsible one?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because he has to be now, because he's a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it means to be a hero. All of those things. So, we had fun there. We hopped on some trampolines. We high diddly deed. We got to see Jiminy exposit his own anxieties.
Yep.
We got to see some innards that were all neon-colored Lisa Frank nightmare time.
Jesus.
And you know what? I had fun.
I had fun. I always have fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's gonna be an episode of this podcast we make that isn't gonna be fun.
No.
Thank you for making the show with me as always.
Thank you. Speaking of fun,
yes,
we are in the Monstro belly.
Okay.
There's a little water in there, and
no.
lo and behold, what is in the water but a message in a bottle?
Yay!
We got this one from Abby. Hi, this is going to be a long one, and I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay. So I started listening to you guys about a month ago because I wanted to know more about Kingdom Hearts. A bit of background. Kingdom Hearts is a game I've heard about from two friends of mine, and I'm already not a big video game person, so I never looked into it. So at the end of last July, I went to a concert of one of my favorite artists for his solo music. The show had Kingdom Hearts elements at the beginning,
cool.
And my friend was like, Abby, that's fully a Kingdom Hearts starting menu. So I bought Kingdom Hearts 1 by the next week, and as of Saturday, I finished finished 3 and watched the DLC.
Wow.
I started listening to you guys because I became so obsessed with this series and needed to know everything. Thanks for making it easy for me to understand some things I may have missed, but also making a great atmosphere for new players. Heart. I also just made Dive to the Heart's Mickey ears for my next Disney trip.
Oh.
Abby.
I bet those ears look great.
I want to see pictures of the ears, Abby.
I love a stained glass aesthetic.
I do too. It's one of my favorite aesthetics.
It's incredible. I want to see those ears, Abby. Send us a picture.
Yeah, send us a picture, and I hope your trip to Disney goes good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I always love making this show with you, and I hope we get out of this whale stomach.
Yeah, maybe we should set
some stuff on fire?
Maybe we should set some stuff on fire real quick.
Yeah, let's fire! That's how he says it.
Fire!
Fire! Well, thank you so much for listening to Simple and Clean. And as always, may your heart be your guiding key.